Over to a different side, Suo barely managed to escape, unable to comprehend how not even the musclehead was able to stop the monstrous child. Apparently this guy also has his own boss, who seems to be some kind of kingpin of underground crime. This terrifying boss reveals that he sent a Lancelot to deal with the kid. Now that the boy has messed with the Great Will Organization's plans, he's going to pay for it. But before that happens, let's return to our boy's side of things. He's back at home resting on his bed, knowing that he made his parents worry by going on his own like that. While they're sleeping soundly, Kaido remembers how worried his parents were upon his return. Thankfully, the police didn't hold him down for any questioning because of his lack of involvement. As for the thugs, their mission and ultimate goal is still ambiguous in his eyes. Then there's the fact that the man in charge, Suo, also disappeared after the scene. From the looks of things, he thinks that there's something even worse looming in the shadows. As he jogs outside, he internalizes how he doesn't want anyone around him to get hurt anymore. Suddenly, a bunch of projectiles are shot at him, causing him to jump right into the air. The man who shot them is actually baffled that the boy managed to avoid them. By the way, Kaido already knew someone was following him home, which is exactly why he came out here in the first place, giving the spy an easy target. Turning to the guy, Kaido questions his motives. The creepy bastard is impressed that the boy managed to notice him even in his bedroom. It's the first time he's been figured out like that, and with this, it's confirmed that this kid isn't just any normal brat. Giving credit where credit is due, Kaido praises the spy for covering his tracks and being on a completely different level from the thugs he faced at the factory. From those two facts alone, it can be said that this guy doesn't belong to the workings of a normal society, which begs the question of why he was spying on him in the first place. Kaido's stalker is rather impressed, and thinks that the young kid also shares some connections to his line of work. But our boy keeps it simple and maintains his identity of an ordinary high schooler. Refusing to entertain any more small talk, the man prepares his blades for their ultimate showdown. The scene is familiar to our protagonist, who recalls his previous life. The assassin before him officially declares the end of Fujiwara Kaido. This same man is called Sanjo of the Great Will Organization, ranked number 67. Getting into fighting stance, Kaido reflects that he too was once a member of the same organization. Let's visit the headquarters of the Great Will Organization. The council member Akatsuki is frustrated that even after kidnapping Yuzuha, they were unable to obtain any leads. Akatsuki thinks that they should have deployed a lance for the mission from the very start to get things over with. Let's zoom out and focus on the significance of this organization. This group is capable of overthrowing the world into chaos thanks to having 1,000 assassins under its wings. Among them, the top 100 assassins are considered the elites and given the title of Lance. Each Lance is so reliable that they have a near enough 100% success rate for each job. Among other things, Minami and Akatsuki are the same. Minami reveals that they're searching for a specific treasure that will shift the balance of the world. That treasure is called Fenrir's Seed, and Yuzuha is supposedly the current owner of that sacred treasure, though they don't have any evidence to conclude such a thing. Yashima reveals that he's already sent Sanju for the job. The revelation shocks them, because before using a lance, one requires the permission of Odin. But that's the thing. Yashima has already acquired such permission. First off, they know that Yuzuha's bodyguard is trash, so there's no way it could have been him, concluding that there is more to the situation than they understand. He deems their enemies a threat, and therefore wants to eliminate them at the hands of the lances. That brings us to the scene of the fight, where Kaido realizes that he's dealing with someone from the same organization. The stance Sanju is using is perfected and difficult to read, signifying his elite status as a lance. This also confirms our boy's worst suspicions, that everything surrounding Yuzuha's troubles is actually being controlled by the organization in the background. It's not a case of a simple inheritance loot, but something greater. Sanju quickly observes the boy's stance and remarks that he isn't a high schooler at all. The kid is fearless and feels natural when a weapon is pointed at him. Sensing danger, Kaido deems him a threat for Yuzuha and lunges forth to strike him down. The first few punches are casually evaded by the expert assassin, who reflects that the kid is incredibly fast and accurately aiming for his weak points. From this angle, it really seems like Kaido is an assassin of his own class. However, Sanju isn't a joke. This man nearly stabs him in the face, causing our boy to maintain his distance. From their brief encounter, Kaido has learned a bit about his opponent's specialized fighting style. Sanju is a fighter who prioritizes his range to his advantage. The assassin is impressed by the kid's skills and decides to go on the offensive by lunging right into the air. The tables have turned, and though he goes for a butterfly slash at first, the assassin quickly rewires himself into a different stance in an effort to overwhelm our boy. Sanju is genuinely pleased to find his opponent dodging like an expert. Meanwhile, our boy is starting to realize that he's far behind when it comes to strength and speed. There's only one way to defeat an opponent like this guy, and that is to scan his environment. While the elite lance is going heavy on the offensive, he thinks that he's finally achieved an opening to strike. But much to his shock, when nails the final blow, Kaido casually slips out of his jacket before stabbing his neck with a precise swing. Surprisingly, the lance managed to evade it just in time, and retaliated with a swing of his own. The slash ends up cutting Kaido. Blood drips down, and the realization sets in that he's dealing with a powerful lance. He's realizing his own limitations for having a weaker and untrained physique, while the lance is rather impressed by the boy's attempt to trap him. He talks about how Kaido's perfected movements showcase that he's easily a professional in combat, except the only thing he lacks is pure killing intent. The only order he received was to assassinate a high school student, but now it makes sense to him why a lance was given such a job. Sanju reveals that he's a threat to the organization's intentions with Yuzuha, which is why he must be assassinated at once. Thanks to his own confession, Kaido is now certain that the organization is connected to everything. Deciding to switch his mode of fighting, the assassin decides to activate his combat mode, striking a cool-ass pose. He won't be holding anything back, promising to show the true fragment of his killing intent. Sanju lunges forth with his batshit crazy dragon dance form, which is essentially hundreds of blade strikes hurling at our boy. The lance has become mindless in his pursuit and literally skins down a tree with ease. Meanwhile, Kaido finds himself a safe spot to hide, realizing that he's dealing with someone way beyond the level of a normal assassin. The crazy fucker tornado slices his cover, unleashing a geyser of water. Having suffered another cut on his body, Kaido realizes that he's dealing with an S-class user on top of a lance. His endless slashes are so incredibly difficult to deal with that not even our boy can get out unscathed. Sanju goes ballistic and accuses the high schooler for being a killer too, wondering if it's fine if Yuzuha is killed as collateral. And well, that's where this man fucked up, because that line alone triggers Kaido's traumatic flashback sequence, except this time, the face of his girlfriend is replaced with the one of his friend. Pissed off, he lunges forth to tackle the assassin head-on, smashing the blade right out of his hand, grabbing it, and then speed blitzing a sharp cut right across his shoulder. It all happens so fast that not even an expert lance is able to perceive what went wrong. All he can think about is what kind of monstrous kid he's dealing with. Our boy refuses to experience the guilt and suffering that he did last time, which is why he promises to protect Yuzuha with his life. The lance thinks it's pointless to resist his fate as he's going to die by the will of God. Bro is a shoulder down and still wants to fight. His endless slashes are useless from now on, because Kaido is expertly matching each attack like a seasoned professional. Accusing the high schooler for being a coward, Sanju leaves himself wide open during one of his attacks. Reminding him of his place, Kaido goes right behind him, painfully slashing his thigh and belittling the pro-assassin for being so loud. Reduced to such a state, Sanju can't help but question how this guy got so fast all of a sudden. Reusing the same tactics like last time, he tries to overwhelm our boy. It ends in disaster for him, because Kaido leaves a bunch of cuts right around his left arm, revealing that there's no point anymore as he's already read all of his moves. In his next attack, Kaido burst with incredible speeds, becoming a Beyblade and slashing all his way to Sanju's body. Donning his murderous glare, he deems the end of the lance, who is still out here questioning how one could master such swift knife work and such godlike speed. The way he's fighting reminds him of the wrath of Gungnir, the #1 assassin among their ranks. Kaito brutally rips this guy's body until he's left gushing out a pool of blood. The fight is over with Sanju realizing just how outclassed he was right from the beginning. As he's panting heavily, the lance trembles in fear, sensing that he can't even move a muscle anymore because the tendons in his arms have been severed. But our boy is kind enough to leave at least one leg for him to get by. As for the rest, the killing machine assures him that his career as a lance is finished, and that he won't be able to kill anyone anymore. Ruthlessly, Kaito remarks that in this way, the assassin will lose the only part of his identity that he treasures the most. It's a fate worse than death because these people can't even blend in normal society. But before leaving this guy alone, the boy declares his 2 questions, promising to painfully cut his other leg if he refuses to answer. For his first question, he wants to know the name of the man who issued the order, and why specifically they're targeting the girl. Giggling like a fool, Sanju reveals that he's not going to talk even if he tortures him and kills him as he has sworn loyalty to his one and only God, and that he'll never betray his will. The mention of God confirms everything for Kaito, but unfortunately sirens start buzzing all around. Sanju's recklessness has attracted the cops. In that brief window, the guy manages to use his only leg to escape. He recommends the kid to get out too before he's caught. Before leaving, Sanju wonders if the boy really wants to be an ordinary high school student. That question floods him down memory lane, because Kaito remembers how everyone around him thought he can't experience a normal life, simply because he's lived his life as a cold-blooded assassin. Even now, as he's covered in blood, the thought clings to him. Is he really normal? Can he even be considered a high school student? That question is yet to be answered, but we shift to the headquarters where Yashima learns about Sanju's update. Izumo reports that the lance has been effectively dismantled to the point he can't even continue working anymore. Akatsuki is out here amazed by Kaido's abilities to take down an expert assassin, beaming with excitement. Izumo confirms that whoever it was a monster, because Sanju described the guy's movements to be similar to Gungnir, a name that draws attention among them all. Even Akatsuki thinks it's an overestimation to say that, to compare this guy to the strongest knife user to ever live. Izumo understands their frustration, especially when Gungnir's name isn't tossed around lightly. Minami breaks their confrontation while Akatsuki whines about the significance and specialty of Tuji. Regardless, they think that this random bodyguard of Yuzuha has proven himself to be considerably powerful. Not only did he disrupt their plans, but he also dismantled a lance-level opponent. With this development, Yashima and the others can no longer wait around. The whole thing leaves Yashima questioning the mystery behind Kaito Fujiwara. Speaking of our boy, he goes back to his room and patches himself up in secrecy. He's having a bit of an identity crisis, knowing that he's supposed to be an ordinary high schooler instead of an assassin like he used to be. Unfortunately, he has to help Yuzuha escape the sights of the organization. And then there's the fact that they'll target him even more now that he's defeated a lance. With a body like this, he'll be at a loss, so Kaito intends to put in the work and get strong again. If he has to preserve this peaceful life, then he has to do everything in his path to ensure it stays safe. As for the Great Will organization, Akatsuki volunteers and expresses great interest in taking the mystery man on as his target. They're surprised, but Izumo thinks it's a great idea for a threat of this level. After all, if this guy really does compare to the likes of Tuji, an ordinary lance won't cut it. A curious Akatsuki is all the more happy to use his position to take care of the threat. By the way, this dude is no joke. He's ranked 9th overall and is one of the greatest assassins around. After a day passes since Yuzuha's kidnapping, Kaido's parents and the girl give him a big welcome home party to celebrate his discharge from the hospital. To show his love, his father presents the omuris he worked really hard to make, though that is a little hard to believe because the dish looks pretty cursed. After that, Yuzuha says she made something extra special for him as well, as she places a plate of mouth-watering beef stew in front of him. With a proud grin, she tells him to dig into her masterpiece while it is hot, and the moment it hits his taste buds, our boy instantly gets a flashback of the past to when he was leaving the house, and Mirai asked if he would be out late once again. However, that time he told her he would be home in time for dinner, because he only needed to meet someone and pick up a thing or two, giving no clue about his actual work. Mirai was really glad to hear that because she was making his favorite beef stew that day, and that made him very happy. Then, he told her with passionate eyes that he would share something important with her when he got back before he left, and she bid him farewell with her precious smile and a smiling Johnny boy in her arms. While eating the beef stew, Kaido becomes sad that he never got to tell her he was quitting his life as an assassin to be with her. Yuzuha gets annoyed seeing his disappointment and asks if it really tasted that bad, but our boy suddenly starts downing her cooking like it is his last meal on Earth. Nearly tearing up, he tells her it tastes delicious. Yuzuha is glad to hear that, and his mother tells him there is a lot more where that came from if he has a big appetite. As he watches his father set the pan on fire and Yuzuha smiling with the cake and enjoying herself, our hero is grateful from the bottom of his heart to have such a loving family. Later he walks Yuzuha back home because things have gotten more dangerous recently. He asks her if she noticed anything unusual happen around her since then, but she tells him she has police all around her house so she should be safe at the moment. Confused, Kaido asks her why her butler is not with her, and she says she personally requested him to stay away because he is so annoying it is impossible to have fun with him anywhere around. Anyway, she lets him know she had a lot of fun at his house, admitting it has been a very long time since she got to laugh so much again. Her expression quickly turns serious as she confesses she has been feeling pretty down ever since she lost her father. Hearing that, our boy is completely speechless, and Yuzuha realizes she did not tell him about that yet, because she did not want to make his amnesia worse with such stressful news. She says it happened around 2 months ago at the same time as the car accident that sent him into a coma. Kaito realizes that is why she was so emotional about losing him as well back then. But she stayed strong and never let her sad feelings show by covering them up with her cheerful personality instead. Our boy apologizes to her for making her worry, but Yuzuha tells him it is no big deal and points out he has not changed a bit, surprising him. Then, she thinks that he did mature a little, but even when he was a small kid, he had the habit of being reckless and fighting kids much bigger than him whenever they bullied Yuzuha, even though he always knew he could not win. Just like that, he came for her when she got kidnapped, but she couldn't see his amazing moves because she was blindfolded. Yuzuha becomes suspicious and asks him how exactly he saved her. Our boy dodges the bullet saying that everyone who saw him got so scared, which technically did happen after he destroyed their comrades like a monster, making Yuzuha doubt even more. Still, she thinks that it does not matter as long as he is brave enough to come for her in a pinch. Yuzuha confesses she was scared out of her mind when the gangsters were threatening her and Kawai, but when she saw his face glowing brighter than the morning sun, she was genuinely happy. For that, she thanks him. And being smooth as he is, our boy tells her he will save her no matter how many times she needs him, making her redder than a ripe tomato. After that, the flustered girl yells at him to get in close and pulls out her phone to take a cute selfie with him. Proud of the good shot, she says she will make it her wallpaper so she remembers the amazing day, not realizing it might start weird rumors at school. However, Yuzuha mumbles it will also help her move on, and seeing Kaido able to worry about her so soon after his life-changing accident, she is inspired to finally stop clinging to her dad's unexpected death. Our boy smiles as he realizes Yuzuha is struggling just like him, and that motivates him to protect his precious childhood friend even more. Right then, he is shocked when she pulls out her phone and shows him the picture of her dad. His soul nearly exits his body when he recognizes who her father is, and he confirms if the man really is her father, to which she replies his amnesia must be serious, because her dad was always so kind to him. With a serious expression, she mentions that a lot of people around her badmouthed her father, but he was always nice to her, and that is why she loved him from the bottom of her heart. Looking at the picture of Yuzuha's father carrying her on his back, Kaido recalls seeing the exact same wallpaper before when he finished his final mission. It hurts every fiber of his soul as he realizes he was the one who stole Yuzuha's father away from her. Seeing how sad he is, Yuzuha asks him why he got so quiet all of a sudden, while Kaido processes everything, standing before the Akagi group chairman's daughter, the man he assassinated in cold blood. He tries to rationalize, thinking that Hayate was the one who pulled the trigger and he would not have taken the mission if he knew he was her dad. But he feels guilty because he blindly followed the Great Will's words that Chairman Akagi betrayed the organization, so he must be eliminated. He feels even worse because he did not feel a thing back then, and now he has put Yuzuha in danger as well, so he considers telling her that he was once an agent of the organization who ordered her father's death. He grits his teeth in deep frustration, still unable to make a final decision. The next day at school, he quietly sits at his desk while all the girls in class chat loudly about the new transfer student coming, hoping it is a hot guy. In the end, our boy decides not to tell Yuzuha, because the organization will not stop coming after him just because he put a single lance out of commission, so his only real choice is to keep protecting her at all costs. Just then, the teacher announces that a new transfer student has arrived, and when the boy asks for permission to enter, our hero instantly recognizes his voice, staring in disbelief. Taking one look at the pink-haired, cheerful boy, he wonders what one of the divine spears could possibly be doing at his school. Remembering the last psycho who came after him, his suspicion is confirmed that the Great Will sent this one as a direct response to his interference with Yuzuha's kidnapping. Suddenly the boy turns to our hero and pierces his very soul with a cold, unblinking stare, openly declaring who his intended target is. There is no doubt at all that the pink-haired brat is Akatsuki, one of the organization's 12 divine spears, codenamed Bident. Sometime later, during the PE lesson, the crowd goes wild for their new transfer student as he casually manages to score yet another basket. The girls are head over heels for the pink-haired boy while his teammate is genuinely surprised that he manages to jump so high despite his short height. Makoto plays it off by saying it was a great pass and motivates his team to get another hoop in, while the opponent team gets irritated that the transfer student is already stupidly popular with the ladies. Meanwhile, Kaido does not let his guard down at all as he finds it odd that the lance has still not made a single move and wonders what on earth he is even planning. You see, the lances are an elite group of the top 100 assassins who are each assigned numbers, and out of them, the top 12 are known as the legendary spears, who are commanded by their supreme leader Odin. Each of these insanely overpowered assassins has extraordinary abilities that rival 1,000 men. When it comes to assassinations, these people can easily trample over the army of an entire nation. These elite warriors are only deployed for the most critical missions, which makes Kaido come to the conclusion that it can only mean they are hell-bent on targeting Yuzuha. Kaito looks down in sadness as the painful memories from his last mission hit him, and he figures that the assassins must be after the secret treasure that the chairman has supposedly stolen from them. It keeps bothering him that if Akatsuki decides to act at this school, can he really protect the lives of everyone here, including his childhood friend, with his current body of a high schooler? Sometime later, everyone returns to their classroom, but the students still do not stop fangirling over Makoto and keep begging him to join them for karaoke. He is an instant hit with the ladies, who start crushing on him even harder once he reveals that he practiced a bit of basketball back in the United States. Meanwhile, our hero watches the situation from a distance and realizes Akatsuki is not making his move today, and he makes a mental note to stay on full guard tomorrow. Just then, he hears Yuzuha call out to him and ask if he can go somewhere with her after school. Our boy instantly rejects her offer without even hearing her out, insisting she should just go straight home for the day. However, out of nowhere, a hand rests on his shoulder, and Makoto appears from behind to greet the girl cheerfully by her name, which instantly sets off all sorts of red flags for Kaido that he is seriously after Yuzuha. Makoto introduces himself, but Yuzuha points out he is already quite famous as the hot new guy all over the school, and she asks how he even knows her name since they have never actually met. The cheerful transfer student tells her with a carefree smile that she is the high school girl who inherited the Akagi group fortune, which completely catches her off guard. She suddenly gets a bit depressed while Makoto continues, saying his father is indebted to the chairman, so he was instructed to look after her, but when he tries to invite her somewhere, our boy suddenly cuts in and makes an excuse that he hurt his finger during practice and actually needs to go to the nurse. Our boy gives him a cold death stare, which convinces him to play along, and the two boys part ways with Yuzuha. She looks back with a smile and thanks Kaido for protecting her from weirdos once again. A few moments later, as the two are standing on the rooftop, Makoto admires the view and goes on about how wonderful the prime time of a high schooler's youth is. He then looks back at Kaido and jokingly asks if he brought him here to confess his love or something, but our boy keeps giving him the silent treatment. Makoto simply laughs it off and continues that Yuzuha is honestly quite cute up close in person, but says he cannot believe that she is the chairman's daughter. Kaido gets straight to the point and demands to know what his goal for coming here really is, wondering if it is revenge for the purple-haired guy. The transfer student looks as unbothered as ever and casually asks if he is actually the one who took out Sanjo. He starts analyzing his physique and finds it surprising that he managed to win against Sanjo with only a couple of minor injuries, but our hero repeats his question again, becoming visibly more annoyed by the second. The assassin finally drops his innocent act and admits that he wants to get his hands on the secret treasure that Yuzuha inherited from her father, which fully confirms our boy's suspicions. Akatsuki continues that they do not even know what it actually is and just want information for now. He offers our hero a chance to join their organization since he is stronger than some of their assassins. The boy adds that they only target bad guys, make good money, and Yuzuha might even give the location of the secret treasure to him since he is close to her. Akatsuki gives him a nasty smile and warns Kaido that it is a very good offer since both he and the girl might actually manage to survive after encountering the organization this way. He then walks to the edge of the roof and holds out his hand, warning Kaido that if he resists, innocent kids are going to get hurt. Our hero refuses to let that slide, and immediately dashes forward toward the assassin as he launches a barrage of quick attacks. Makoto manages to dodge each one with ease and compliments Kaido that he can rival a pro with his swift moves. Just then, our hero manages to grab onto his arm as he reveals that he knew the assassin would try to use bombs. The tiny cube is his unique assassin item, with which he combines explosives and martial arts that are well known in the organization as Biden's default method to annihilate his targets. The mention of his codename catches the assassin completely by surprise as he jumps back and yells that Kaido has way too much knowledge for an ordinary person. Makoto then holds out 6 more bombs in his hands as he smiles like a lunatic and states that he is about to raise the levels. With determination in his eyes, he jumps around the roof and tries to catch the bombs. He manages to grab the first 3 and quickly rushes toward the rest. Our boy then parkours over the wall and uses his feet to catch the other 3. Makoto watches the entire scene unfold and states that there is absolutely nothing normal about Kaido, but then tosses another bomb out of nowhere toward the ground below. Kaido tries desperately to reach it while the assassin taunts him by saying he cannot protect the entire student body like that. Our hero fails to grab the cube as it drops into the field below, while the lunatic in the back snaps his finger and sets the bomb off. Kaido shields his face from the blast as the students below start to panic over the sudden explosion and rush away from the area. Makoto reassures him that he adjusted it to explode before reaching the ground so no one would get hurt, calling it a little bonus for managing to catch 6 of the bombs. Kaido is about to rage, but Makoto cuts him off and holds out even more of the bombs while he asks who he really is and if he will join their ranks. After thinking it over for a moment, our boy answers that he is just a normal high school student and would absolutely never join him. Makoto looks genuinely disappointed by that reply and figures that Kaito will not be convinced unless a few people die, but our boy simply drops one name in response, Gungnir. The mention of that name makes the assassin turn around with a wild look in his eyes, while Kaido calmly states that he was once known as Gungnir. While the school speakers announce an evacuation, Makoto glares down at our boy and gets angry at him for even saying Gungnir's name. But just then he reveals he was only buying time, and before Makoto can process it, school officials arrive on the rooftop to check for any students left behind. The pink-haired punk gives him 3 days to decide whether to join them or not, and warns that he will regret it if he refuses. After that, students get free from the school early because of the explosion, and there is an ongoing chit-chat that no one got hurt from the huge explosion, and Yuzuha asks Kaido why he is not going home. Kaido explains he has something important to do first, and wants her to stay home since the explosion could be another attack aimed at her. Just then, Kawai shouts with passion that safety measures have been increased and that he has started learning martial arts to protect Yuzuha, yet his over-the-top enthusiasm only leaves her annoyed. Yuzuha asks Kaito to text her if anything happens and he agrees, but once she drives away, he turns back to stare at Makoto as if to let him know he is not fooling anyone. Meanwhile, as Makoto observes our boy, he is positive that Tuji wouldn't let anyone disgrace Gungnir's name. Later on the local train, our boy hopes he has managed to divert Akatsuki's attention away from Yuzuha and toward himself, remembering that although Akatsuki is the youngest of the divine spears, his abilities are no joke. Clenching his fist, he thinks about how he has grown used to his new body, but he still has a long way to go before he can take on a divine spear in combat. That thought makes him worry that he might lose if they face off after 3 days. Yet it does nothing to shake his determination to protect Yuzuha, even if it means murdering the pink-haired punk.